Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Monday. Guess what? Today may be the day. I know I've been hyping this day for a long time, but today we have some breaking news. SEC accepts their final application. So does that mean Gary Gensler is going to be announcing something today? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin, which is now above 45,000 once again. And let's talk about some alts that relate and could benefit the most from a spot ETF. Let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. Look at this. Bitcoin is right back above $45,000. Now, I know some of you guys were a little worried yesterday. We saw Bitcoin dip a little bit, just a little bit. Those of you guys that caught my Sunday night video, you would know that this is perfectly normal and there's nothing to worry about. In case you missed it, it seems like most people got it. Most people watched it. I put on Cryptos Are Us Plus, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to that channel right after you watch this one. Because from now on, all the Sunday walk videos will be there. And I said some good things yesterday. And it's almost 50,000 views, so I guess a lot of you guys did go there. But I did say that, yeah, you know what? Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin itself will probably go up. Bitcoin is strong as ever, even though we had a tiny little dip yesterday. We're back above 45,000 and Bitcoin's ready to rock. Okay, not only Bitcoin, but a lot of the alts that did fall yesterday are now recovering in a big way. But we'll see. If ETF gets approved, Bitcoin dominance could go even higher. Okay, Bitcoin, remember, is the big daddy. It leads the way. But speaking of those ETFs, as expected, it was reported last week that the SEC asked all the applicants, the issuers, okay, to submit their final applications by 8 a.m. this morning. And apparently every single person, every single issuer did. This is the final application. Again, you got to put two and two together. SEC is not going to go through all this trouble to ask all these guys to keep amending and amending and amending and amending if they're just going to deny. Previous times, previous years, when we had this kind of song and dance where, you know, we have these issuers file the applications, SEC just ignored. They didn't even ask for, you know, rewrites or refiles. They just like took it and then denied it at the end, right? This time around is different. A lot of back and forth. This is like the 5th or 6th amendment. This is the final one. They're not asking for any more. So what does that say? Well, to me, that says that Gary's like, okay, you know, I can't hold this back any longer. We got to give these guys what they want. And I need to solidify my next position after being let go from my position later this year. Okay, so that's what it means to me. Now, we already know that the deadline is the 10th. So that means announcement could come today or tomorrow, one of these days. Why not a Monday? Monday seems to be a better day than Tuesday, in my opinion. If I was Gary and I had to choose today or tomorrow, let's choose Monday, right? So just wait. We're already at 45,000. We'll know when approval comes. If you start noticing Bitcoin skyrocket to like 50,000, okay, you know that approval has happened. And I do think we will hit 50,000 after approval. I mean, we're already at 45, okay? It's not too far-fetched to go up about 10% to $50,000 after approval. So that could be as soon as the next hour, next few hours, soon as closing day today or tomorrow. It's going to come. It would be a major, major, major shocker if somehow there's no approvals by the 10th. That would be a major shocker. Okay, and if that happens, we have to wait a few more months because there's another deadline in March. Okay, but today, a lot of the fees came out. So here's the thing. What's the difference between buying SPY ETFs and buying Bitcoin? Well, fees is one of them. Okay, it may not seem like a lot, but these fees add up over time. So if you hold spot ETFs, even though, yes, it's good, but it's not as good as holding real Bitcoin because you got to pay these guys, these fund managers, for their ETFs. So, I mean, the most outrageous thing in here is Grayscale. They were at 2%. They lowered to 1.5%, which is still a lot compared to everyone else. That's at point, a lot of people are at like 0.0 for 6 months. Then they raise it up. But yeah, you could see Grayscale definitely stands out. I don't know who's going to be buying GBDC when you could buy, IBDC or something from BlackRock that's way, 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 way cheaper, right? But these guys are all loaded up. They all seeded their ETF. They're waiting for approval, and then we're going to get a massive amount of money flowing into these ETFs, and that will carry Bitcoin up to the moon. Chamath, we haven't heard him talk a lot about Bitcoin, but he was in Bitcoin very, very early. At one point in time, he said he owned 1% of all Bitcoin. He said he has sold off since then. But he believes this is the most important year for Bitcoin that ever existed. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know about ever existed, but I will recognize the significance is vast, okay? The significance of having ETFs around is huge. But I don't know about the most important year. Maybe the most important year is the first year it was released. But why does he think so? Basically, it's about mainstream adoption, okay? And it's true. He thinks our parents and grandparents understand what it is. They can buy it and then buy some more, right? I mean, it's true for a lot of older people that do not want to deal with exchanges, do not want to deal with self-custody, do not want to deal with, safeguarding Bitcoin, right? The next best thing is to buy spot ETFs. And again, that's why it's going to bring in so much money that doesn't exist right now because, stocks have been around forever. Brokerages have been around forever. People know how to buy stocks. They fill them up in their brokerage accounts or they use their 401ks or retirement funds to buy stocks. It's just so easy to buy spot Bitcoin ETF stocks versus learning something new like Coinbase. And that's going to bring in so much new people and money into the space. But outside of ETF news, Bitcoin is still rocking. Right now, merchants that accept Bitcoin tripled in 2023. Okay, so you could see tripled, kind of like Bitcoin's price in 2023. So in terms of adoption, Bitcoin is still growing by leaps and bounds. Like I said before many, many times, the fundamentals of Bitcoin have never been better. Anything that you can measure, the network or activity or adoption, all are at all-time highs. Like the fundamentals of Bitcoin has never, ever, ever been as strong as now. Even though the price is not back to all-time high, but the fundamental is just phenomenal. Here's another one, Japanese e-commerce giant, Mercari, to allow Bitcoin payments from June on. So that's in a couple months, right after the halving event, right? So, it's all fantastic. You're looking at it from a TA perspective. What does that look like? That looks like Bitcoin has just broken out of this wedge and it wants to go a lot higher. Despite all these fake outs or shakeouts from the whales, that nasty drop down to 40,000, and then we had a nasty one down to like 42,000. This weekend, we had a little one down to like 43,000. Despite all those shakeouts, Bitcoin continues to rock. It does not care. And all of you guys that took advantage of these dips, I think most of you guys don't care about them either. You don't care about the dips. You're not scared. You lived through 2022, 2023. We're at $40 freaking thousand. We're not at $16,000. We're not below 20,000. Why would you be scared, right? But these guys, the market makers, the manipulators, the whales, they tried. They tried their hardest to drive people like you out, and they failed. That's why Bitcoin is back above 45,000 and looks like it just wants to continue. 50,000 could be right around the corner. After that, I don't know. 60,000 is around the corner. Bitcoin is at a 92-week high, going all the way back to March of 2022. At that point in time, Bitcoin was at 48. That's why that is the next mark. That's the next leg up to go, about 48,000. But after that, it's 52,000, 58,000, 69,000. I mean, seriously. After that, it's like all hell breaks loose and Bitcoin just could go up to hit a new high like right away. We don't know, but it's coming. It's coming. And here's something else that's very bullish. For the first time in Bitcoin's history, yes, first time in Bitcoin's history, you would figure that this event has happened before, but Bitcoin formed the golden cross on a weekly chart. First time in history. That's pretty significant. By the way, Drew Beefy, thank you. I saw that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's also very, very bullish if you think about it. Golden crosses on a longer time scale are very, very bullish, of course, right? Then again, just to play devil's advocate, some naysayer will say, well, we formed the first, death cross, and that didn't mean anything. Well, that's true. That's true. But we had a death cross earlier in 2023 because Bitcoin fell down way lower than it should have. And then we recovered up. It's just that simple. So it just kind of shows you how it doesn't matter how far Bitcoin drops. It doesn't matter what the charts say. Okay, it really doesn't. Bitcoin will continue to grow and get stronger because the people believe in it. That's really it. It comes down to supply and demand in terms of price, and demand keeps on going up, supply keeps on going down. That's it. Doesn't matter what the charts say, doesn't matter what the lines say. It comes down to the holders, and the holders keeps on getting more plentiful and stronger with their conviction with Bitcoin. I know my conviction with Bitcoin has never been as strong as now. Like Bitcoin's fundamentals, honestly, never as strong as now. Not like in 2021 or 2017 or even 2013 when I was in it, right? Like, you cannot pry Bitcoin away from me. So I feel like most people that have been in the space for a while think the same way, right? So absolutely looking fantastic, and it's going to get better soon. Very, very soon. Later today, tomorrow, spot ETFs are coming, and then we'll go watch this candlestick go upwards to the moon. All right, now let's talk about a couple that are doing very well, recovering well, and could do better when ETFs come out. Let's talk the first one that relates directly with Bitcoin. That's Stacks. Stacks defies market correction. It doesn't seem to want to go down. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. It makes sense because now Bitcoin has a new utility, not just as a medium exchange, not just as a store of value, but also as a DeFi chain, a DeFi hub. Because of Stacks allows programmable dApps to exist on top of Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin gets stronger, you go get more and more dApp makers come aboard and try to create new DeFi projects on top of Bitcoin. That's why Stacks is leading the way right now. It just keeps on getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You look at its pair versus Bitcoin, and it just keeps on going up. So if you're looking for something that is outperforming Bitcoin and could continue to outperform Bitcoin even after the ETFs, Stacks could be one of them. It just keeps on getting stronger. And why is that? Well, because, like I said, it allows dApp makers Everything that exists on Ethereum, everything that exists on Solana, everything that exists on Avalanche can now exist on top of Bitcoin because of stacks. Think about that for a second. The maxis love this because this gives a use case for Bitcoin that basically negates why we need altcoins, right? Like basically, you don't need Ethereum, you don't need anything else. You could just do everything on Bitcoin, and they have a point. They do have a point if you think about it. It's just that it's so early, very, very early. Now, Stacks is going through a couple things. By having an event, they're having a big upgrade called Nakamoto upgrade, which is make them more just better. They're actually going to have to fork for it. And then they're going to come out with a new version of Synthetic BTC. They already have a version that they rushed out, but now they're going to do a new and improved version that'll come right afterwards. So there's a couple of significant upgrades, forks, that's coming to Stacks right after the halving event, in case you're wondering, right? So they're building up to that. And synthetic Bitcoin, in case you don't know, is basically just a synthetic version of Bitcoin that can be used in DeFi projects like Uniswap and others, okay, or Curve or everywhere else. So that's why it exists, right? Okay. And lastly, for Stacks, you could also earn Bitcoin. If you wanted to earn Bitcoin natively without going to some, lending project that you may not trust, you simply stake Stack, and then you actually get Bitcoin in return. That's pretty cool. That's how they work. You earn Bitcoin by staking Stacks. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. All right. Now, the other project, and this other project doesn't really relate to Bitcoin, but they're just on fire, so I just got to mention them. Injective. Injective is just on fire. They just keep on going up. Despite yesterday they fell down a little bit. Now they're back up like 10%, and they just keep on going. Injective is so strong. In 2024, I think they're going to have fantastic year, right? They're trying to introduce their new Volon mainnet, okay, which will introduce RWA module, which I guess, I don't know the exact details, but it's going to make it easier to bring real world assets into the space. They're going to be more scalable. There's going to be more token burning, which makes them more deflationary, which is awesome, and so much more. So right now you can vote for this. This is their next big major upgrade, okay? Not that they just went through one, actually, but, whatever. Why not another one to make it better, right? You look at the number of stakers, just it's bonkers, just keeps on going up right now. Within a few months, the number of stakers skyrocketed. Same thing with the number of transactions, 400 million transactions, keeps on going upwards. Okay, in case you're wondering, they are L1 out of Cosmos, and super fast, lightning fast. They have IBC enabled. So, they're just killing it. Now they have a major wallet, Ninja, that's available on Android. Soon it'll be available on iOS. So from an infrastructure standpoint, still building it out, but most major wallets already accept Injective. In fact, I just covered Trust Wallet. I love Trust Wallet. They do accept Injective, and they became a validator last week. So there's a major connection there as well. And lastly, from a chart perspective, that's looking pretty bullish. That's a bullish flag. Yes, that's called a bullish flag. And what does that mean? That means there's a breakout that's around the corner and could send Injective even higher. That's what it means. All right. That's pretty much it. Bitcoin is just holding, is rocking at 45,000 right now, waiting for that ETF approval. Gary just has to make a decision. Is it today or tomorrow? He has to make a decision. We don't have to wait much longer. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. By the way, I closed out all my leverage and then reopened it yesterday toward the bottom. And it's looking pretty damn good. This is on Tapit. So you can see I have Injective, which I opened up at a good time. Stacks, I just got done talking about Stacks leading the way. Celestia, okay. Solana doing okay. Lido doing okay. That's another one that'll probably benefit. And BDC, of course, rocking it. So, leverage recently has been very volatile. Like, a lot of liquidations. I got liquidated a lot, but, at those bottom points, if you catch them right, man, you can make a lot. Or you can recover faster. Let's just say that way. You can recover faster. But, of course, be careful when you're playing with leverage. All right, let me scroll up here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. BDC, according to JC, is like the crypto honey badger. Okay. Why pick 50 and 200-day moving average? Why not 365, 30? I think most people. I mean, you could pick whatever 2 points you want. But from what I've seen, most people stick with the 50 and 200. It's just based on experience, based on, I don't know, traders that like those 2 points. Jason says, I doubled my money on Stacks. Awesome. Not sure why everyone's asking. So many people are asking about insane clown posse. David, where can we see the most up-to-date info on SEC approval, SEC press release? I mean, I think if you follow Gary Gensler's or SEC's X page, that will probably give you the most up-to-date. I mean, they love to tweet. Gary loves to use social media, even though no one agrees with anything that he says. But I would say follow both of their X pages. NMCT, I see Ben Cowan's channel recommended a lot after watching his streams. I never see his videos recommended to me, by the way. You must have clicked on it once or something. He confuses me. Is he a Bitcoin maxi? No, he's not, but he likes Bitcoin the most, and he charted Bitcoin. I don't know. I've spoken to him. I don't think he's a Bitcoin maxi, but he just like charts it the best or the most. Or yeah, it took him a while to I mean, how should I say it? He felt like, I believe, that altcoins were going to get much weaker, so he just stuck with Bitcoin. And I don't think he was convinced that alts were going to come back as strong as they were. He may have changed. I don't know. I haven't seen his videos recently. Opinion on Audius? That's okay. As long as people are still using it. Last time I covered them in 2021, there were supposedly millions of people using them per month. I don't know if that's the case. That's self-reported numbers. Buzz on Cardano. The team is building like snacks. Super supply and holders rising right now. See, you can make that comparison that a team is building like snack, but can they get snack-like attention? That's the biggest thing when it comes to memes. I mean, there's only so much you could do with memes, right? Once you release it, that's it. It's all about marketing and attracting people to it. You can do other little things and build things, but ultimately, it's about getting people to buy and holding it, and you do so with a lot of memes, basically. Cal says, your DCA advice helped me become profitable. Congratulations. Love hearing that. We're going to check out my DCA portfolio this week. We'll see how it goes. It should be pretty high, if not all-time high. But DCA works. It just does. You can't disprove DCA unless you're holding a really bad project. Okay, then DCA is not going to help you. But like holding Bitcoin, for example, DCA will always win you. How about cock and bonk? Will Bitcoin kill them? No, it won't. Bitcoin has nothing to do with memes, okay? Memes will continue to do well as long as the teams don't give up. And like I said, they have to just continue to market and market and market and market and market because that's all they could really do. Cardano is the answer. I don't know why you have to put all those periods in between Cardano. I don't know about Cardano what is the answer, but Cardano will trend up. There's no doubt about it. Cardano will trend up. What's going on in MicroStrategy this morning? I'm assuming you're asking that because it went down. Let's see. Yeah, it could be because Michael Saylor decided he was going to sell $200 million worth of stocks. So, if I had to guess, maybe that. Or he did it already, or Wall Street's trying to downplay ETF. George, pull some strings, throw your weight around, call Gary, and get her done. Yes, I'll do so right now. Live on air. Zcash, nope. Anything that's a privacy coin, I stay far away from. Basically, they're going to be delisted and attacked by all regulators. Do you think SNEC doesn't totally skyrocket because you can only get on Cardano wallet? Maybe. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. You could get on several exchanges now, but the liquidity is low on all these exchanges. So, I mean, people don't want to learn something new. And then plus on MinSwap, you have to have ADA in order to buy it rather than, say, Sol or ETH, So there's definitely, I don't know about learning curve, but there's like a hindrance, I guess. Can baby Bondcoin do the same as baby Doge? It could. Will it? Probably not. Alphium. I don't know much about Alphium. Can't really talk about them. How about CFTC issue with other commodity tokens? What's the question? I don't get the question. Are you doing any content relating to airdrops? I have mentioned them. Mentioned them a lot, and especially in my Patreon, a lot of them were mentioned. Like Jitto was mentioned weeks ago before it was airdropped, or months ago. Jupiter was also mentioned. A lot of airdrops. I mean, here's the thing about airdrops. It's not going to change people's behavior, in my opinion. But if you happen to be using something that will be airdropping, that's great, right? So you want to know about the times and so forth. So another reason to sign up for Patreon. What are your thoughts on CRO? I've never been a big fan of Crypto.com, and nothing has changed my mind. It's just there. It's a very, very, very poor man's version of Binance. Gabe is asking, what percentage do you see Bitcoin ETFs taking in the current 80 billion total ETF market? Even 10% would do crazy things for us. What do you think? I don't know. I think I've covered stories about other ETFs and trusts that are trying to up the percentage of Bitcoin spot ETFs that they could hold. I think for most companies, they're like, small, 1% to 2%, but a lot of them are trying to anticipate. So they're trying to up it to 5 to 10%, right? So, Gabe, I could see anywhere between 5 to 10%. But here's the thing. If Bitcoin goes nutty and skyrockets, then of course more and more people and companies and family offices and funds and trust, they're going FOMO in just like everyone else. So that 5 to 10% can become 15, 20% in no time. And then it could go even higher than that, right? People love to chase. Okay, it's just human nature. Everyone wants to chase. And if Bitcoin is leading the way and has the greatest gain percentage in 2024, there's going to be a lot of people chasing and coming in. Callum says, message the other day, my 3K is no longer on the side. Good. You DCA'd. Are you holding any DYDX? No, I'm not. How do you like balls on you? I don't. Not the way it's moving right now. George, did you see Seen Through Glass? YouTuber got a 2003 challenge for Dale. Yeah, I seen him before. The bald guy from England, right? He had a 360. He had a manual 360. 360s just sound the best. They do. Like, I didn't know he got a challenge for Dale. I would love to get one. But the thing is, you have to give up. You had to give up your manual. Challenge for Dale is like a modified version of F1 transmission, which is okay. But, those F1 transmissions from Ferrari they kind of suck, especially normal driving. But if you get challenged for Dale, you're not supposed to do normal driving. You're supposed to do it on the track, right? So, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. Out of all of the modified versions, I would get the 458 Speciale. I think that's the one everyone covets because it's the last natural, V8 Ferrari, and it sounds amazing. That's why more people want the 458 Speciale versus the 488 Pista because of the sound. If the ETS is declined, BTC touches 30 to 35K, how badly are you expecting it also dump? If that happens, first of all, if ETS is declined, Bitcoin's not going to touch 30. But let's just pretend like it does. Alts will bleed out like crazy, as expected. But it's not going to go down to 30,000. Check out 3D Pass, Hidden Gem. It doesn't really sound like a gem, but let's see. 3D Pass. Transform the world layer 1 blockchain platform for the tokenization of objects. Turn your object into a digital asset. So they're all about converting real world assets. I don't know if this is a hidden gem. There are a lot of L1s doing this. The name, to be honest, sucks really badly. Just not even knowing about the project and hearing about 3D Pass makes me want to skip on it. I'm being 100% transparent. That name sucks really bad. That in itself may hold it back. Man versus machine. What's your Patreon? Well, it's in the description. It's a subscription service. Basically, you're getting newsletters on all the latest alpha. Let's see. Do you like sushi? I like eating sushi. I do not like sushi swap. LDC is the true hidden gem. I'm not sure about that. I wholeheartedly disagree. Did you get a chance to buy Pocket Network? What's your view on this token? No. Pocket Network, pretty big. 300 million. The RBC base layer, Web3 infrastructure with high uptime, cost-effective access, and low access. 40 chains. Are they like more like a L0? To be honest, I don't understand what they do. I don't. I have to do more research into them. But that's really surprising that the volume is mostly from Gate. So this must be a Gate incubator project or something. Normally, you never see volume higher on Gate versus KuCoin. I'll put that in a maybe pile to research. Why radio silence on Say? You've been raving about it for weeks. What are you talking about, Chico? I just talked about it last week. Just because you don't watch all my videos, don't make claims like that. Go check out my last few videos. I talked about Say just like a few days ago. If ETFs get approved, what do you think about ETF memes? No. I'm not going to look at those. Do you have an opinion on Kronos? Just like my opinion on CRO. Nah. Why is Myro flying? I don't know. Myro was flying last week already. People just like Myro. They think it could be the next bonk. But it's still below. Oh, maybe they got listed on KuCoin. That's why. I don't remember seeing them on KuCoin. This is probably the reason. KuCoin is a pretty major exchange. Jim G, appreciate that. He's a blue label hitting the table. Man, I have so many good bottles. I got all these special edition bottles that people have been gifting me. I got so much to drink once we get ETF approval. But I've been trying to limit my alcohol consumption, especially while at home. Myro got listed 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's why they started going upwards. You know, people underestimate some of these exchange listings. If you're too young, there's a fine balance between memes, between getting listed and not getting listed. Because if you're a young meme, you don't want to be listed too quickly, because then it's just going to get people to sell off. You only want to get listed when you get that critical mass and you know that the community will continue to carry you, despite some trying to dump on the exchanges. So, I don't know. Myro is still kind of small. Still sub 100 million. They could easily dump down. Just be careful about Myro. If you want to take a risk, you want to degen a little bit, put a little in, that's fine. But we have seen much bigger memes fall down faster faster than it climbed up. Jimmy's Buffett. Can you give a shout out to my wife Stacy? Hey Stacy, I'm glad you support Jimmy whenever he watches me. Twice a day, every day. He probably watches me more than you. I'm just kidding. But hey Stacy, and thanks Jimmy. I want to hear techno analysis on VET. I'm not a big TA guy, but let's pull up VET. Although, if you are interested in TA, you should definitely subscribe to Cryptos R Us Plus, because this one right here, ChartStorm, was created by Noah. He gave some really good alpha in here. He charted six different alts, right? Make sure you start tuning in because or subscribe, because he's going to give some really good charting. As for VET, it's doing pretty good today, up 7%. Obviously, you know, we had this fake out dump yesterday. Okay, a lot of alts went through this fake out dump. But overall, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at some previous time scales. Let's see, 1 hour. Let's do 4 hour. Man, I gotta choose a different chart. Why is it not? Let's do Binance. Yeah, actually, you know, it hit a support. That's why it bounced off of there. Actually, I already charted that from before. So from a TA perspective, you know, that's actually pretty normal. Excuse me. It needs to climb back up there, but you know, the next, I can't even zoom out more. There we go. Man, VeChain did a 8,000% rise from its bottom in 2020. Yeah, next up is, that's a major point, but it needs to hit over here first. About 4.5 cents, then about 6 cents. It looks pretty good. It bounced off of that resistance, turned support. So now I could do this and go back up. Which AI projects do I like? You know, honestly, I don't like any of the AI projects right now. I just feel like it's too early. With crypto AI, we just don't have any spectacular dApps right now, to be quite honest. Why get married when you can enjoy any women you please? Because at some point in your life, you realize that having that one soulmate, that one companion that you trust and love is better than having a million that you don't love and trust, and that you know that are only with you for your money. At some point in your life, you'll realize you'd rather have that one than a million. Invisible, can you explain why LTC is bad? Surely it would be worth nothing and not having all-time high addresses made. It's bad because it's not better than Bitcoin. Why would you hold an alt that is not better than Bitcoin in some way? Litecoin was created as a copy of Bitcoin. It's a store of value essentially, but it's a worse store of value than Bitcoin. So why would you hold it? It's the same thing. If you go hold gold or silver, and over a course of 5 years, 10 years, gold outperforms silver. So why would you buy silver? It's the same thing. Since Bitcoin's beginning, or you go back since 5 years ago, Bitcoin has made new highs. Litecoin didn't. Litecoin doesn't perform as good as Bitcoin. So why would you hold Litecoin? It's that simple. It has nothing to do with my opinion. As an investor, right? you're an investor, right? Why would you hold on Litecoin when it does not perform as well as Bitcoin? Think about it. Take a second to think about it. Take your opinions and your biases out of the window, okay? And just think about it. Why would you hold Litecoin when Bitcoin continues to perform better every single year, every single cycle? Put two and two together. Have you heard of soft node for Intactum? No, I have not. People keep asking about MintLayer. I just haven't had time to look at it. You know, I just didn't have time to look at it. I'll have to look at it. I forgot what it was already. Oh yeah, it was about layer 2 for Bitcoin. Surprisingly, I thought it would do better. Well, last 7 days, 50%. Tom is in the crowd saying, I like Litecoin. He loves his the underperforming Litecoin. Poked is a depend that allows dApps to call RPC blockchain data quickly, privately, and cheaply. Check out the 3-month chart. Yeah, someone just asked me about that already. So I don't know. I'm trying to equate it to something else that does that. So it's like Chainlink almost. Except that I know it's not an Oracle, but it allows data fetching. I mean, to me, that just sounds utility-wise, it's probably great, but from an interest perspective, that just bores me. See, Invisible, based on what you just asked and based on what you just answered, Litecoin all-time high will be here, meaning that you don't really care about what I say. You just think that Litecoin is going to be doing well. That's okay. You can continue to hold an underperforming alt, but then there's just no point. There's no point. The only point to holding alts, if you think about it, is they outperform Bitcoin. If they don't, you're a fool to hold anything other than Bitcoin. Think about it, right? That's the whole point of alts. If you can't make more money with alts, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So why would you do it? Why would you do it? Ban protocol, I gave up on ban. Ban is Oracle. They pumped up in 2021. Seems like they were going to be a next, Chainlink, and they went nowhere fast. If I was going to ape into any Oracle outside of Chainlink, it would probably be Pyth instead. Pyth already has a larger market cap, seems to have more traction, so I would not go with ban, in my opinion. Tom is saying Litecoin is less than 10% of your portfolio. 10% is really high number. I would say, maybe it was like 2%, 3% of your portfolio. 10%. Tom, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know. Why would you hold 10% in Litecoin? And this is why it keeps on dropping in CMC. It's just like it doesn't do anything. Last 90 days, it went up 4%. I guess people are waiting for it to go back to 360. But, man, Last 90 days, Bitcoin went up 63%. Last 90 days, Litecoin went up 4%. I mean, 4% versus 63%. Bitcoin is 35% from all-time high, okay? Litecoin is 84% from all-time high. Again, this is like prove my point here. Casper. Casper looks interesting. They're another interesting L1. 500 million, that's not bad. 1 year, about 70%. They haven't moved that much. All that much. Yeah, I mean, they're L1. I mean, you go to all these L1 pages, they all basically say the same thing. You know, we'll just have to see. $18,000 in Gala, bad idea. Well, Gala, they're still the biggest gaming platform there is. 700 million, pretty good. But I don't like how they came out with another token, a music token. And, of course, I don't like the founders suing each other. I don't know why. They just won't end that. And the music token is just a distraction. They could easily do it with Gala tokens. I don't know why they chose what they did. But they have not been doing well. 1 month down 18%. 1 year, they're still down for the year. That's almost impossible. Every alt that I choose, if I look at a year, they're up. Like, for Gala to be down, that shows you how weak they are. I don't know. To answer your question, I'm rooting for them, but they're just not doing much right now. Andrew, new member. Shido. I've looked at this before. No opinion. All right, guys. To conclude, spot ETFs, final applications have been submitted. Approval is right around the corner. It's either today, tomorrow. It's going to come. These big guys are all going to get their spot ETFs. It may be the most significant year for Bitcoin. We've been talking about it, hyping this up for quite some time, but it's right around the corner. So let's see if we get that approval today. Tom, have a good one, and we'll see where Bitcoin heads. 50,000, 60,000, 100,000. It's going to get there eventually. As for the alts, cover a couple of them that are promising, and there are a lot more that I'll be covering. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care.